And I believe we are live. Good evening, everyone. Good to be with you. A happy Pentecost to those of you who partake in the celebrations. I don't know about the customs and traditions where you live, but these second holidays are usually also national holidays in Denmark. So it's been a day off and still retain some of the mood of the holiday. And I'm glad to be with you. This is Mondion Astral Oracles, and we're going to be channeling the 12th dimensional Quanta. It's this quintessential energy of the universe that is known as the Holy Ghost. You can also think of it as Chi or prana, how you want to approach it. But they come forward with this very bright energy, and they're very good with metaphysics and dimensional stuff. So if you have any of those questions, they're also welcome, but all questions are welcome. And a very special thanks to Kevin and Adelina and Natalie and Carla for donating. It's treasured and appreciated, guys. And of course, any donations you want to give are welcome. But your presence here is also greatly appreciated. And likes, subscriptions, comments, shares, everything is welcome and appreciated. So it looks like some of the gang is already here. So good to see you with us, guys. So good fiery evening to you, Jana, and greetings and love, Mess, and greetings and love, Davante, and everyone. I hope everyone's having a great day. And Kevin says, "Hello, Quanta and Mess. Thanks for this experience today." Thank you, Kevin. It's good to see you here. And AJ says, "Hello, hello." And great. It seems with the first question in from Kevin, we can also set off the fireworks. So I hope you enjoy. Yes, deep blessings to you, friends. You know us through this channel. Some of you, many of you who hear this message, but all of you know us from the vibration that creates universes and that creates you. In this very moment, we are ingrained in your being. We are creating your experience alongside with you. You could think of us as the soft, yielding supermatter that gives way to the permutations of your consciousness and thereby creates the reality you're experiencing. You can also think of us as a great river of light pouring somewhat invisibly through everything, but emanating in all the light you see in the universe. Those are only slightly lesser emanations of the pure light vibration that we give off. But this day on this holiday, we come to you with loving greetings, many blessings, and great tidings for all to hear. See, you have been in a phase of your experience and your development where you have seemed to come upon some grave challenges. That goes for most of you hearing this. It has been an ongoing theme, and we know from some of the friends that we have already registered are here present with us that there have been both physical mishaps and rearrangements and confrontations with the arrangements that were no longer serving you in your life. And these are quite hard. It means also that the energies have been very conducive to experiencing pain, you could say. See, pain from our perspective is a emotion that arises when shapes or forms or individual centers of consciousness, something such as yourself, dear friends, well, when that collides with other shapes that seem immovable, pain arises. And so, what we are here to herald is this soft yielding energy is beginning to permutate into your experience. So, many of you will, in these coming, we sense, approximately 17 days, begin to experience how, well, positivity is flooding into your reality, your vibrality. We use this term borrowed from a former session. Your vibrational reality begins to change and accommodate itself to your new intentions. It will be seen for you on the backdrop of some of these hardships and shocks you have upset. And therefore, it might be difficult to first accept that you are actually gaining in wisdom, knowledge, abundance, insight, connectivity, love, those things that make this world worth existing in. But you will realize it when you come upon some of these strange new messages flooding into your reality. They often take the shape of impulses, of ideas, of things that take shape in your heart. But many of you are right now also open to the experience of seeing something new arise in your life and having that take shape for you. So allow that to be a type of snowball effect. And yes, then we come to the message as we have entitled it, the tongues of fire. Of course, we speak of that holy day which we are observing now and which is the occasion for which this vessel has called us in to communicate with you. We speak of that miracle where the followers of the one you call Christ, they began to speak in tongues, or they began to speak in a multitude of languages after they were touched by cloven tongues of fire. Well, you might think of these cloven tongues of fire as DNA. It is the vibrational upgrade to these DNA codes that were received and flow and put into human experience at that point. And new codes are now flooding into your experience. They are opening up your life field, so to speak. We know this sound as a perennial message, and therefore we would like to remind you that if you were to gauge the fire you felt 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, even just 6 months ago, you will sense that something new has arisen within you, something has changed inalterably. Perhaps for the better, time will tell, but we know time well, and we tell you it will go as it was intended, and you shape that intention before coming into this forgetfulness of your life. We are here to be remembered, we are here to celebrate, and we are here to reconnect to the all that we all are and the unique codes of every individual partaking in this interaction. Therefore, the deepest love and blessings from the heavens, the 12th dimension, we bring to you. Universal energy pouring into your light field is touching you, massaging you, opening your crown chakra, allowing for the stellar gate to open and starlight to flood into your experience. Much love and many blessings, children. A very harmonious energy. I'm looking forward to interacting with them this evening. Um, and Kevin asks, my energy is aligned with the wanderer and the lone wolf at times, which I am perfectly fine with. With this being said, while this being said, I also enjoy a community energy, which in the physical experience can be a challenge. I understand that my connection to myself is foundational and my external reality will reflect this. Could you comment on this in regards to me and others like me finding more of a physical community to feel part of? Much love, Kevin. Much love, Kevin. Yes, you are describing the tension that exists between, you could say, the archetype of the hermit and the archetype of the father. That is, there is great responsibility in both roles, and that may be a place where you can align yourself with the connectivity of these roles. We are now not speaking of the archetype of the father as the physical act of being a father, your fatherhood to others, but we are speaking of the role that you have also chosen to identify with, which is, in a sense, a combination of the lone wolf, the hermit energy, with the social and connective energy of community, because you are still, in a sense, perched on top of this construction, guarding over it, attracting other energies. And if you have patience, our dear friend, we sense that it is something that is created for you. You could, in effect, in your case, step back and say it is something that is being created for you. So, what you need to do here is simply to release the reins. Know that you are doing this connectivity work and you are connecting with people. You are, by connecting with people in your physical environment, also coming across individuals who you may be able to, let us say, share a higher percentage of your personality interface. The image we're using here is that rarely do two individuals match up entirely. If they did, we could say they would merge into one, and you fantasize of this concept in the idea of the twin flame. But there needs to be a little difference to keep separation intact and the game going. And so you could begin to focus on the fact that as you have come more and more into alignment with yourself, moving through this life, and you have manifested a lot of challenges in your life to make yourself, to push yourself into this alignment. Well, as you have moved into this alignment, you have become more aware of the actual personal interface of you, we could say, and you have begun to connect more of that to the outside world in your communications and the way you interact. And this will begin to move. But like many light workers, you have been stuck in this type of also isolation cycle. And what this has to do on a, let us say, more collective or planned out scale is the idea that all of you need to experience the energy that you are trying to heal. And so you have experienced this feeling of separation, and you have also experienced, let us say, this break of generational connectivity, which has led you back to a connectivity to more fundamental cosmic forces such as the landscape, nature, your astral family. And those are some of the things that you are moving into. So if you would like, you could begin to arrange events where there was a type of sharing going on, and you also, well, did some guidance or information sharing here. We sense that, well, you would be the one to actually share in this, and what we are envisioning here is you surrounded by a smaller circle of people in your area that are also attracted to this information, and growing a type of community or sharing around it. These are some of the ideas you can play around with to come into alignment with this, and also, then notice when you play around with these ideas, when the lone wolf appears and when you are drawn into that separation energy. And that is something that you also want to honor and accept as a part of your being. And so you are on the path, you know this, but we remind you again, and we extend our deepest love and blessings all the way from source to you. And AJ asks, while attempting to connect to some guides of mine, I got an image of a masculine blue being. Could I know a little about this person? Thank you. Um, oh, and he also says, I think this is a good part, and it's also just so very good to hear, man. What feels like the first time, it seems like the universe is tangibly aligning with my wants and needs, and it is amazing. That's very good to hear. And the question again is, while attempting to connect to some guides of mine, I got an image of a masculine blue being. Could I know a little about this person? Thank you. Oh, yes, because, dear friend, the reason that you are experiencing this positivity and that the intuition guiding this session and this vessel was instructing him to also read the other part was that you could say this blue being is the being of joy. That's the gift he's bringing you, but he's bringing it to you with a certain sort of melancholia. And this melancholia, it's an emotion you have been growing. And the reason you have been growing this emotion, this type of sadness, is it's in a sense a cultivation of some more harsher emotions of, we could say, of confusion, of feeling lost, of despondency, of being upset and frustrated, of anger. And many of these things, they are shifting into a pure sadness, because once you sit with the, well, you could say, the grapes of sadness, you can make a wine out of it. It is something that's crushed and then purified into something that actually distills a type of spiritual being and brings something also almost inebriating or exhilarated forward in your being. And so this being that you're connected to, we sense that you will have much luck in connecting with him should you want to explore this connection further. He's giving us the name Lam, and that's an L, an A, and an M. And he is saying that it's interesting. He's sort of presenting himself when we talk to him with a type of elephant, like he's a blue orb of energy. But then there's this type of elephant trunk, a little comical actually, that's coming forward to him, forward. And well, he's connected to us. He's simply just giving us that way, which would be the southwest. So he's connected to an energy of the south. Um, oh, it is the southeast we're pointing to. So he's giving us an energy of the southeast that's somehow connecting the two of you together. And he's a galactic buddy. So he comes from the eighth dimension, and he hails from a star that's, oh, what is it? We believe it's situated in the constellation of Scorpio, and that's the information that's given. Maybe you will have a resonance field if you look up this map and then explore it. But offer him your sadness and try to play it in a symphony with him, like do a little jazz with your emotions, and know that this sign of positivity flowing into your life, of the universe cooperating with you, it's a very positive sign, as you recognize, but it's also a sign that you're coming into flow, that what was blocked is and was impeding the flow of positive emotion is becoming aligned and allowing itself to express itself to you. So you have our deepest love, and we also offer you the greetings and your love from this blue friend Lam. And we extend the blessings and the love of Source to you, our friend, in your further travels and progress. And Jana asks, question one. I started to connect to the feeling of softness. That words, you are welcome, and how to magnify their cause and effect. Thank you. Yes. Notice the sound that we produced here. Because notice your vocal system is very attuned to aligning with these different bass vibrations that compose the melody of you. And so the softness, when you are learning to play a soft melody, you can take these words and you can juggle them internally and externally. So you can say thank you and you're welcome, much appreciated, to different parts of yourself. And so, for instance, the part of yourself that you send to work, who soldiers on and does the things that are required for them to also make a living, you can say thank you to that part, and maybe they will go, you're welcome. And now there will be a greater connectivity established within you then. And then if you hum or you allow yourself to connect to these softer vibrations, often seated around the neck area, the Adam's apple, which we believe might be called the larynx also, and this area is the place where there is much gentleness afforded to you. It's the stream of the heart that you allow to flow through these sluices and vaults to come to fruition in your skull and in your mental understanding. And so notice that we code or almost encode this vessel we are speaking through with quite a soft vibration as we move his vocal cords, because it is exactly within this this allowing, this almost tasting the exhale, that you can extend softness and the feeling of abiding gratitude into your life. That state is a state in which you want for nothing, and that is why it is so attractive to so many human beings, and you enter into it by letting go and breathing out. Our deepest love and blessings to you in this, much easiness, many soft wishes for future things to come to you and all of you. And Davante says, hello, Quanta. The mind has been running around a lot lately. I would like to know if there are any messages or insights today. Thank you and love. Love to you. Yes, you could think of the mind as Master Mercury tapping on the outside of your consciousness, wanting to get in. That is to say, you've become quite energetically attuned, and so when this energy, it begins to increase within you, it also begins to activate the mental senses, and so it can be far more helpful for you in these situations to focus on things that bring you steadiness. And of course, again, we can focus on the exhalations. We can also focus on things such as journaling. We can focus on things such as being in nature, sitting in the sun, doing nothing, breathing consciously. All these are techniques you can use, but you can, of course, also go about it in a more prosaic way, and things such as cooking, for instance, will help you to connect to a less racy mind and also focus your thoughts on things that ground you and connect you back to physical reality. You can also, well, we sense for you, you would be happy to keep a plant, and the plant that we are sensing, it's in a sense ficus sized, but it's a fig tree. Actually, it's a fig tree that's coming through. And so we sense that both, there is a type of double meaning here, because we sense both that the sweetness is is something, that sense of growing sweetness, of growing a sweet fruit and then cultivating it, that's something that bringing your mind back to this, thinking of yourself as a type of vegetation or a plant-like entity, something that moves in that pace, and there you will ground into your process, progress and process. And we sense that you could censor this in the fig tree, but that will also hold some symbolic meaning to you that will grow as you begin to connect to it. And it is, of course, a suggestion. Please do act in accordance with your heart and highest excitement. But we do sense that the process that is happening within you is, in a sense, that the mind space is connecting with the heart space. And as this takes place, racy thoughts are quite common. Many blessings, much love extended to you from Source this day. And another you. This is an interesting question. Thanks, Quanta. What is your highest joy? How do you spend your time? Yes, this is a very sweet question. Well, seeing as we are composed of universal energy in the 12th dimension, well, time does not really exist to us. And at the same time, we spend our time being time, you could say. So that's how we spend our time, is reconfiguring everything into alignment with itself. And we do this often by manifesting in things that come out of shape, and then they need to be reconnected. But, well, when you breathe, you sense this. When you focus on the sensation that's experiencing hot or cold right now, you sense this. When you focus on the thing behind your eyelids seeing out, you sense this. But those are all still experiential manifestations of our universal energy. Of course, the part of our energy that's being translated from the 12th dimension here is in alignment and is with both the people receiving it and with the entity channeling it. That means to say that only human content is shared in this context, only things that are translatable into the human mind, whereas in other parts and regions of this galaxy and all parts of the cosmos, we are translated quite differently, but we still have that same base signature, fundamental signature that makes up the 12th dimension, and that is universal and present everywhere. And so through our energy, you can connect to all entities and all places, all things that ever have been and ever will be. All energy is present within our field, and we are so happy to experience all the manifestations of it taking shape and interacting with itself through you and through us in eternity, forever in love. So much love, so many blessings to all of you. I had the idea that would be a philosophical answer coming from them. And I Mark one says hi to all, delayed by 555, which is a number I've been seeing all day. So I'm not surprised, but thank you for sharing and welcome. um, And yes, for those joining in, like I usually prioritize to answer at least one question from each viewer, and then pick and choose. So ask your questions if you have any. Autumn Rose, many blessings. How do light codes function, and how does one work with light codes? Thank you and much love. Much love. Yes, light codes function. You could think of them, and this is of course using a metaphor, but you could think of them as programs on software systems, that is programs within programs. If you think of your individual soul as a type of program within the program of your oversoul, well, then there are certain light codes making up this being. And the part of you that you are immediately connected to, the mind-body complex, the thing you think of as you, the part of the soul that you are immediately connected to, the thing you call the higher self, well, it's in a sense the energy body in its most idealized, your individual energy body in its most idealized form. And so it does change quite slowly over lifetimes. It's carries on from lifetime to lifetime, picking up and releasing imprints. And so this is, in a sense, the light codes that I'm making up with is that it is made up of is a type of resonance chamber. And as it begins to drop imprints, it begins to heighten its vibration. It comes into a higher degree of resonance with itself, and this emanates into the mind-body complex, just as the mind-body complex's impressions and imprints feed back into it. But so what you experience often when you experience a high-pitched noise, or you experience a type of flash or light, or indeed if you experience tongues of fire, these are these type of light codes that are flooding into your physical experience and being encoded. And the way you can begin to operate actively with this, because as you know, moving into the 5D and being used to the 4D, there is this sense of time lag, which usually manifests itself in your experience as the sensation of impatience. But these light codes, they they're showing me this. Sorry, this is the channel. I'm just trying to communicate this because it's a very complex image that they're showing me. And yes, this is the Quanta again. So these light codes, they are actually translations, you could say, from your higher self into yourself, and you experience them in an instant, but they take time to manifest and unwrap in your experience, and they often do as, you could say, unexpected manifestation in your outside reality. But so the difficulty our friend here had trouble with translating, the image we were translating to him, was we were showing him a complete 5-dimensional light code as you can create them. That is, if you go into your astral state or your visionary state, and you can begin by climbing into your Merkaba using that technique. But if you go into that state, there you will see a type of blank canvas of infinity where you can begin to bend these streams of light and tie them into geometric units. And when you tie this into this type of geometric unit, you can then envision giving it to that bright eternal part of yourself. And there you will see it become immersed and placed within it and placed within the whole. And that would also give you a clearer alignment with your higher self. And there you can begin to integrate it. So in a sense, you are made of light codes, but there are smaller codes within these codes that reconfigure the codes that you are running, much as there are enzymes that operate the processes of your cells and greater biological processes. And so everything is made up of light, but being that you are light yourself, you can bend and interact with this light to reconfigure your experience into preferred higher vibrational reality. Much love and many blessings from Source in your connection to this astral journey. Yes, and Veritas says, blessings all in the name of the Most High God. You are loved without condition. That's a beautiful sentiment. Thank you. Blessings to you too, Veritas. Amen to that. And yes, AJ says that was beautiful. Thank you. And another you, oh, I'll just see if there are anyone who hasn't. And Veritas says, "Sup, mess, bro. Blessings, bro. You are loved, bro. Thank you. I'll try to take that to heart. That's very kind of you to say." And Anne Hussein asks, "Who is my galactic family? Pleiadian, Arcturian, etc." Yes, we would like to thank this listener with the beautiful name of Truth. In Latin, we believe it is that for this repetition of the perennial message, you are loved by the all. We come forward as an emanation of God that is present in the all. So the great one who sits beside us and sits behind us, sits above us and sits below us, that great one, he is made of love, and his love touches and reaches all of you. We can but simply extend it to you for you to open up to. And you are opening up to it by aligning with those words, reaffirming them, that you are loved, that you are love, and that there is nothing to be afraid of. And so, proceeding to that question, another dear friend asks, who is their galactic family? And see, dear friend from the 12th dimension, you are part of the infinite. And so you are connected to all of the infinite. There are many, 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 many lifetimes that you have had both of these systems in different planets in the Pleiadian constellation, on a planet around the star Arcturus, and also on other planets later interacted with and experimented with by the race that you often know as the Arcturians. And so know that you are connected to this great loving collective, and they are reaching out to you. We sense that since you bring forward these two energies or collectives, they might be someone that you are also wishing and willing to connect to. And so your counterparts may be coming closer in that project. We sense a Pleiadian object, a type of UFO has been visiting your area and been transmitting, believe it or not, light codes in your dreams that are working within you. And so you can go exploring within this, You can begin to connect to the Pleiadian Council should you want to, and there will be much wisdom and guidance for you there. So, with that blessing, we would love to see you go exploring in this further, in provided that it is also in accordance with your highest excitement, but you would not be called to it if it wasn't. Much love. Yes, and Laura is here. Greetings, Laura. Good to have you. Greetings and love to you all. And oh, it looks like yes. Here's okay. That's part one. We'll wait with the question from Laura, and I think I think then I'll actually have a second question up here from someone. So let's see. And Jana asks a helpful general question also. If I want to align to neutrality, is it better to put the awareness on the pineal or on the heart area? Grazie. Yes. The very short and helpful answer here is the heart area. Your heart is the thing that balances you. It's also a bridge between the higher and the lower chakras. So in this system where you encounter many numerologies, you could say that the three upper chakras, of which the uppermost is the bridge on non-physical, they are mirrored down into the hands through the arms, and the three lower chakras, they are mirrored up through the heart through the feet and the lower torso and the legs, of course. And so you can see this type of mirroring going on. This is the place where you achieve neutrality. This is also where your organs are operating the most visibly to achieve neutrality. So you will sense your heart trying to establish a level, helpful rhythm. You will sense your breathing trying to stabilize itself. And if you move out of the way of these two impulses, which is more difficult than it sounds, it is very helpful for you, because there you will see that the neutrality is always a state that your body and, well, you yourself in your entirety is striving to achieve within this state. And we would of course perhaps prefer the state, well, equilibrium more than neutrality. We believe this may convey a more positive sense to some of you. So the sense that you will, of course, always experience negative and positive experiences and emotions, because that's a part of being a separate human being. But when it does not affect you, when you are in that equilibrium, that's when you exactly enter the neutral, the non-reactant state. And that is a very helpful place to reside. The pineal is perhaps more suited, you could say, for traveling, communication, all these quite mercurial energies, as he was also brought forward to our friend Davante. So this raciness of thought that he was experiencing, it also had to do with the opening of his pineal. And therefore, neutrality is rarely in the domain of thought. And that's why you would notice that the human experience, well, it needs to return to realign itself either naturally or by building routines that does this for it. That is to say, it needs to come into a meditative state where it sort of disconnects from its thoughts, or it needs to go into deep sleep and dream cycles to process this content that you generate. And so true neutrality, you could say, is a thing that resides beyond the evaluation of content. And that's a very difficult place to go into in thought. That's essentially the vision of pure light that we are coming forward to. So it is good to clarify these things because it helps you seek what is wanted in the places that are most helpful for them. And of course, you have our deepest love and blessings in this. And Laura says, my love and gratitude to you, Quanta and Mess. I'm waiting to go into surgery. I've been told something shattering will occur with the circles that have been working with me during this year, during this operation. Can you tell me what specifically they will be doing? Yes, we would like you to first to offer the benedictions and protections of the heaven, and we sense the Archangel Michael descending to stand guard over this process. We know that you are very connected to your work spiritually, and that you realize that you have, in a sense, already made the choice to stay on the earth plane. And therefore, this procedure, it will go as procedural, let us say, as expected or intended, and it will be a step further in your healing. But the shattering part that you are expecting, well, we wouldn't want to spoil a surprise, but you could say that you speak of the circles and notice that the circles are widening, and you will perhaps see them splinter. And when they splinter, they will not fragment into shards of broken disorder, they will splinter into greater arrangements of harmony. There is a vision awaiting for you here. There is a comprehension of how the universe is built and how you fit into it that's awaiting you. So, shattering, yes, we could say the window shatters to let in fresh air. And you have, in a sense, been longing for this fresh air. It has been something that has, we wouldn't necessarily say slow you down because you are in perfect timing always, but we would say it has been something that has been weighing you down, this keeping you sort of locked in this operation, this sickness. And so that is the room we sense that is breaking apart for you. That is the thing that is opening for you. It is the arrangement of the window frame into a newer, grander mosaic of order. Have fun with it. They are waiting for you there to let you know that you are loved and to let you know that you belong. Many love, much blessings, or much love and many blessings. I believe Mercury might be in retrograde. Like I feel a certain difficulty with the words. I'm not sure, but I know it would turn around this today. So if I jumble up many and much and stuff, I hope the meaning comes through. And my evolution says heartfelt greetings to all. Blessed Quanta, is there a message from you and my star family for me? Heartfelt greetings to you. Um, yes, this is a very funny energy that's trying to communicate with you, and it's bearing it's bearing them. It's you know that we think it's Glenn Campbell. If you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. So like it's saying that it's a type of flower entity. Like if you envision a creature that is has had a flower evolution, a planet where flowers have become sentient and have sort of extended their root systems into actually being able to also manipulate and create things. So as we use our hands, for instance, well, it's this kind of entity, and it's sort of, well, you can give it a name, but it's almost like it's like wee. It's like a giant splash of sunlight that's just coming into your experience, and it has that like be be sure to be sure be sure to wear some flowers in your hair is what it's saying. So, and it really, if you could like, if not flowers, then like wear some yellow, or try to connect with the yellowish energy, and also connecting to any yellow crystals and this energy, which might be related to your solar plexus. Also, that there might be a message here. These are the things that are being brought forward to you, but this energy, yes, it's something that's it's growing within you. So reach out and touch faith, as we believe it's said in another classic song. Much love, many blessings. It was a very funny energy coming through there. It's so funny what turns up. Thank you for sharing. And Jan, good to have you with us. Hi, thanks for doing this. So I was half dreaming, and my hands was almost hurting because of something like high charge. I couldn't stop it. What do I do with that? Yes, you focus your mind partially. What's going on or what's interacting here is that you are experiencing some energy flow, but at the same time your nervous system is, we're trying to convey the right word because it's not necessarily, perhaps use the word block or impeded. It's a little tight or wound up. So that means that when this energy arises, there will be some unconscious tension for you connected to it. And the more you can begin to release and relax, the more you will allow this energy to just flow through you. So, if you're, because this feeling can sometimes sense a little as if your hand has fallen asleep or another limb, and there you also know that it can be quite unpleasant to move it around too much before the blood flow has returned, which is in a sense life force also connecting back to where it was cut off. And so it is actually life force going through you. And some experiments that you could begin to have, for instance, just with yourself, if you want to start off slowly, is with uh, Reiki healing or energy transferal. So actually collecting this energy in your hand and experiencing it as a hot energy, and then moving it to an area of your body that needs healing. That would be a way to align with some of the positivity. You can also begin to envision it as a type of white concentrated light. It is, in a sense, us that is flowing through you. And so when you see this white concentrated light, sense that it is being released out through your aura, purifying it and being returned to the ethers and absorbed there. And that should give you some sort of soothing alignment in the sensation of your hands. But it is the sign of a awakening healer, that energy begins to flow through them in greater quantities. And so you have been blessed by this quanta of energy, if we may so if we may say so. And therefore, we encourage you to explore your excitement and to follow your path surrounding this. Much love and many blessings. And yes, and Adelina Dimitrova says, I hope I pronounced that. Hi, Adelina. Good to have you with us. Hello, Star Family. I would like to have an energy reading, please, and elaborate on why I dreamed my ex-partners this past 2 weeks. Much love. Yes, much love to you, our dear friend. Well, we sense that, well, what has also been happening for you is that there has been a accumulation, a quite high degree of, we could say, enthusiasm in your, and if you caught that message earlier, we were describing the relationship between how light codes are translated from your higher self into your being. And so we could say that your energy body is, as is usually the case for all of you, but in these awakening times between you light workers, they can get quite out of sync, your energy body with your physical body. And so there's been a lot of enthusiasm wanting to flow into your life. And it has become more and more visible to you. So we sense the sensation of gratitude, which we also spoke to as something that's very sacred, pure, sufficient in its vibration, has been growing. But what often happens then is that these types of impediments that the physical self or the mind-body complex is unable to clear out, because it essentially is a type of indenture in the all that is you, a type of thing that finds itself in a valley trying to grasp the entirety of you. It often can't really work out these things for itself. And so therefore you all know that sage advice that if you don't know the solution to your problem, fall asleep, and then maybe you will have it in the morning. um, at least you will be better rested. And so this is exactly how your higher self has been operating within that process that you are undergoing, because we sense in particular that your heart has been opening here. So there have been a greater focus on your fifth chakra, or your opening earlier on, we could say, and now your heart is trying to keep up with your outspokenness. So this is some of the alignment that's going on. And so you may feel that there is still, and this is also what we could say a generational pattern, but there's some oppression from this individual that you want to clear out. There's this sense that this person is somehow keeping you away from the truth. And that is essentially what these dreams are circling around. It's with you coming into a place of disconnection with the story about you that this person told you. And that's what your higher self is trying to teach you in those dreams. So it's a sign of great progress when we try to also shed these emotional bonds or come to terms with them, that you are so clearly experiencing this being processed in your dreams. And therefore, please know that you have our blessings, but you also have the blessings and the engagement of your star family in this. And we extend infinite unconditional love directly from source to you and to all of you, sweet human beings. And Armark says, how many Jesus Christ beings were running around the area at the time we think of while he was teaching? Yes, this is quite an interesting question. Well, what you could say was there was, let us see how we want to construct this idea so that we can convey it to human beings. What is becoming evident to you in as you merge into the age of Aquarius is that the Christ or the Messiah, the Bodhisattva, it is a type of perfect imprint of you that you are in a sense all building out of humanity. So you are building a type of collective individual of what perfection is out of your individual experiences. And so the Essenes, they knew this, and those people connected to it, most notably John the Baptist and the Christ, they were in a sense still both working with bringing forward this Son of Man or this deified human being. And so it's essentially a principle that's able to manifest itself into flesh. Once it begins to link up with the human consciousness, it can become delocalized or decentralized. And so that is in a way where you will explain the strange facts about the resurrection, that it seems that after the resurrection in the Gospels, that Christ is able to not be immediately recognized and at the same time reveal himself when he wishes to be recognized. And this has to do with, you could say, this person that you know as Yeshua ben Yosef, or that's known as Jesus Christ, other places. It's this person who sort of transferred his humanity into a transcendental principle, and then this transcendental principle began to manifest through him, and that made in for a manifestation in the period after the resurrection, but it also made for a manifestation that began to work itself into the human collective consciousness. And that is why it is so easy for so many people to have encounters with Christ, or to channel Christ, or to communicate and speak to him. It's exactly because it's a type of perfected humanity that walks around and is present in all of human consciousness. But of course, you connect to this principle through other avatars or other images if you come from a tradition that's not Christian. And we also sense that there's a type of aversion in your question. And so it's most helpful to disconnect from these ideas if they have negative resonance for you. That is to say, if you associate something negative with the individual called Jesus Christ or the tradition of Christianity, it's better for you to approach these metaphysical mysteries and sublime realities through a different guide, or a different religious or spiritual expression, a philosophical guise, or personal personal suit, you may say. And our love and blessings to all of you, also from this, the Christ. All those beautiful hearts, thank you so much, you guys. And Simon Mills, Healing with Art, says, hi, Quanta. Hi. Have you any tips on tonight's mission? And I'm not sure if you mean a personal mission, Simon, and you are welcome to ask these shoot from the hip questions, because usually interesting information comes up. But the more details you can give, the more detailed answers they can. But I'll let you I'll let you know what they say. Well, yes, our tip is, well, keep your eggs about you. That is, we sense you seated in a arrangement of 12 eggs, and you could think of these as multidimensional eggs. So they would appear more like Fabergé eggs in your physical space, that they're like very diamond-like. And so remember to keep the grid around you. So allow yourself to be focused in this powerful magic circle, because you have sort of created some of these hyperspatial objects, or attracted them to you, and they have sort of aligned themselves in a protective grid. And that protective grid is one you can, well, it's beneficial for you to connect to that, and to step into that, and to know it is surrounding you. And if you, as we were speaking to someone earlier, hum a little tune, you can perhaps sense that the light grid is humming along. You have our blessings on your mission, and we send you much love from Source. Oh, another you says he was at a Bashar event where Jesus dropped in. Yeah, I think I saw that one, that clip actually. It was pretty funny. Gotta love those guys, both Jesus and Bashar. Um, oh, it's for the collective, says Simon Mills, healing with art. Okay, I'll try to tune in and see if there's more of a collective message here. Yes. And so we return to that beautiful idea of the mission, because, well, we are in a sense mostly invested in you being the highermost vibration of you, or emanation of you. That is to say, the more light you let into your being, the more you align with this, the more it is accessible for us to also participate in the human experience. And we enjoy this greatly. But so your mission is different from every one of you, and yet it is the same. It is to come into that place where you dare to live your life in accordance with itself. And so, what does that exactly mean? It means that life is what you are made of, and it is a flowering, it is a process that pushes itself through the time space to show itself becoming. And that is the wonder of the infinite all, that is the joy. And so notice that you are rewarded by this great sense of fulfillment, that sense of recognition. Ah, there you are, I've missed you, when you express yourself in these things. And so when Simon um, poses this question, and we bring forward his name because it says Simon Mills, healing with art, we sense that this is an understanding that's deeply ingrained in this name, that there is a deep sense of reward in bringing forward that thing that's there within you in the outside world, and then actually touching someone with it and feeling their reality change for the better, which is the broadest definition of healing that you can have. And so, yes, blessings to all of you. You could all do well in working with these protective grids. See them as almost, oh, we believe perhaps the name alludes to channel. Is it a mobile? These things that you hang across uh, an infant's crib to, well, entertain them and mesmerize them as they doze off to sleep. These type of protective rings, they are also hung around you and your higher self by the heavens to protect you. Love and blessings. I think we are at second questions, and I'll probably keep going for a good 20 minutes more. Um, uh, yes. Um, yes, second questions. I think we are coming up on those. Um, Another you asks, I'm curious of how beings at your level continue to grow. What was your last realization, your last aha moment where you discovered something new? Yes. See, we know we are ill-served by the limitations of human language within this, and therefore connecting to us vibrationally is perhaps the easiest way you can approach us, also through your visionary state. See, we do continue to expand and grow, but we continue and expand and grow in the way that we lend assistance to the lower dimensions, you could say. So to us, there is still a game of dice being played within our being as to whether one shape or another will go one route or another, and we don't exactly know this. So that's of course the same thrill that you humans find in a lower emanation, may we say so, in the thrill of gambling, that idea that there's something just deeply, deeply unknown at stake that is going to be revealed. But of course, we don't, we're happy whatever the outcome. We're just very interested in seeing how code can be grown. See, we are connected in the 12th dimension. We are, in a sense, seated above universes. And so we are connected to many other universes where our energy is also invested in. And so the comparison of these different universes, that's something that's very, very interesting to us. And so there was an aha moment where you could say this, where if you think of this in these terms, and we are boiling it down into human terms here, but if you think of this as universe B, that is to say, it's the second universe that was created after the experiments of the first one. When we then created universe C with the experiments of this one, knowing that this one is already finished in the 12th dimension, then we realized that there was actually a code within this universe that we had perhaps not taken into account or valued as highly as we wanted to. And that was the code of curiosity. So this universe is a quite more unpredictable than the universe next to it and the universe besides it, preceding it, and the one following it, if we were to use chronological terms. And that's exactly because the spirit that we invested in this was that aha moment we wanted to cultivate. See, we had originally, so our aha moment revolved around the value of the aha moment, we could say. Originally, we wanted to create thing that was more predictable, because we also sensed that, well, these aha moments, they often sort of make progress a little explosive. That is to say, you move in these staccato like movements where things stagnate, and then aha, and then nothing, something is revealed or blown up, and entropy ensues, and then you connect things to new things and higher order. It's all very cool, and it's not, we love this universe very much, we're not saying that, but it's simply the fact that we thought we could build something that was perhaps a little more calculable, and that we just found out that we actually appreciated this sense, this exact vibration of excitement that then became unique to this universe by growing that. And so when you are unfolding the human experience, you are in a sense also well, unfolding parts of us that are unknown to us. That would be ways of approaching it, and we hope these metaphysical perspectives on it have served you some, as we do know it is hard to fold the vibrations of the higher dimensions into the workings of a medium such as the 4D medium of language. But you have our greatest love. Know that. And you are blessed beyond belief. Um, and AJ asks, I noticed a pattern in the people that have come into my life friendship wise. They've all been similar in certain ways. Am I attracting these types of people to myself, or is it them drawn to me? Well, almost all, of course. Out of all the people I've run across, some are outliers, but the general pattern is there. It's an interesting question. I think a lot of people can recognize that in one form or another. Fascinating. Yes. Well, seeing that you are a type, let us use the image of a magnet. And so you have both magnetic and repellent properties. And well, from our perspective, it can be difficult to discern the distinction, which we know is very clear in the human experience between, well, you drawing them in or being drawn to them, because in a sense it has to do with shared resonance. And so if another planet, let us say, if another planet on the far side of the universe were to gain the exact same coordinates and vibrational specifications as Earth, it would have to become existent. Where Earth is with the same energies, it would actually merge with Earth. But so, of course, that doesn't make sense if you want to create a universe that you write it so that things become so aligned that they sort of superimpose themselves on each other. And so what is it instead plays with, and you know this from observing nature and humans, is variations of similarity. So it creates a lot of different individuals out of a species that follows the same blueprint, but are infinite variations of this blueprint. And so the people that then manifest into your experience, or that you could, we would use the technical, also metaphysical term here, that what's going on is that you are in a sense a universe in your entirety, being focused through a prism of consciousness. And so other separate universes are lending a blueprint or an imprint of theirs into your universe to be perceived. And these are the vibrational matches. There's a paradox here that's incomprehensible until you move further up into the fifth dimension. But it's the idea that you are both your own separate world, and therefore you do create, or let us say attract, all these people into it. But at the same time, you are drawn to him by the way that you more or less consciously configure your vibration. And so when you configure your vibration into a certain alignment, other people who match this code, they will eventually be brought into your life. There's simply no helping it, because it's a physical reality. So it has to do with, you could say, seen from again our perspective, the symphony of existence. So they, in a sense, make up the next logical progression, nodal progression, the next logical tone to play after the tone that you have just played with your instrument, that is you in your entirety. They sort of join in, and that's in a way that the reason that you could say that you attract, but at the same time know that you are distinct, and there you have a lot of qualities. Well, you hold the qualities of the all within you, but you also have a lot of personal qualities that don't match up exactly with these people, and that also, you could say, produce the outliers, because of course you would just you that those people would become superimposed on your existence, so to speak, if your vibration became too close. And that is if someone is aware with, and we believe this has been discussed with through this channel, but with that image, the idea of the false self, where someone mirrors you and produces a false image, then they purport to be like you. There's a deep type of dissonance coming from within your spiritual being in this experience, that but within your physical being, you are so happy to see that the melody that you are constantly listening to is suddenly in front of you visibly. And that might be some of, we could say, the tension in manifesting people, for those of you who are dealing with this. And that is a quite common topic for manifesting people into your life who you feel are giving you negative, presenting you with negative experience, or perhaps not serving your higher good. It may be that idea that you are playing a vibration where you really want to see yourself affirmed in the outside world, and therefore some of these people can come in to actually do that, and then teach you about the solidity of your inner experience by breaking your outer experience apart, or pushing the boundaries of your personality. So those are some of the perspectives on this that we hope serve you, and know that all people are, in a sense, as all things in your life, for a reason, and they present themselves there until the lesson has been learned. Blessings and love to all. There was a good, and Paul Fastar says greetings to all of you. Greetings, Paul. Good to have you with us. I'll just, I think this is a very interesting question. So let's see. Another you asked again, can you talk about the prime radiant, which says there's only one particle that's moving infinitely fast and creating everything? Yes. So we believe that since this concept is known to you, that you have actually grasped it, but it's the idea that, well, in a sense, the one is the all, and we mean this quite literally, that if there is no framework around the one, there are no separations to distinguish it, then it will actually be able to be its only, it only separates itself, so to speak. And that's also why, as we became more intimate with, well, the faculties of the mind that's translating us, now that we began to translate ourselves as Quanta, or give the name Quanta to be translated, because it's exactly the idea that it's the most minute division of matter that you can find, and at the same time, it's a perfect mathematical unit, and that reflects the energy that we're coming with from the all. So yes, since time is not real and space is not real, so to speak, from our dimensions, it is created by, well, this energy, our energy emanating from source. And so you could see all of physical reality, as you have indeed begun to envision in your physics too, as a type of bent light that's reflecting itself, and that creates, then, by being experienced by an infinite consciousness, point of consciousness such as you, as the experience of reality as you're having it. So we hope that that illuminates somewhat this universe of infinite light that is being created right now by the one thing pretending to be everything. In love. And Kevin asks, could you comment on the intrinsic value of using the permission slip of Sananga eye drops for opening the third eye and lucid dreaming if used before bedtime? Yeah, I've actually tried those Sananga eye drops. It's a really interesting experience, quite painful, but then opens the third eye. And so to you, those of you who don't know, it's a type of indigenous medicine from South America, I believe. And so you drip them into the eyes, and then it kind of feel, if some of you wears contacts, like getting saline solution, but then really intense and painful, and then it has this purifying effect in your skull. So let's hear what they have to say about it. Yes. And notice again that what this substance does is, in a sense, that it purifies the sense of vision, and it does this on a physical level and on an energetic level. And so, seeing that it does this on a both the physical and an energetic level, so you could say that the visual sensor is usually from where most human beings they generate or they receive the dream experience to be translated and then generated into a experience that can be had by your dream self or astral body. And so often a lot of these, we use the word impurities in quotation marks here, but the impurities of vision, all the things that you take in with your eyes that might be ugly or unwanted or a strain or too too loud or distracting. Well, those things are in a sense purified, and then you tune into that more unique sense of perception that's aligned with you, which is the universal eye. And so of course the universal eye, and it's an EIE here, EYE. The universal eye is the third eye, and that is the thing that perceives infinity and the shapes of infinity as they play out. And so when you begin to see the world in this light, well, it becomes, your dream life will also begin to attain a more visionary quality. And so combining this with the techniques of lucid dreaming, that is, so you have in a sense already awakened your astral body by doing this. Your astral body is again most easily often approached through the sense of vision, the third eye. And there it's a little impeded by, we would again use the impurities seated in your eyes, the persona that you sort of extend or on your own being. And we hope this is making sense. We are being told that it's very confusing by the channel here, but we hope that it's making sense. So you could say that it's sort of releasing your astral body. And so if you are able to transition into sleep after using this Sananga eye drop technique, there you will begin to see that the things that you can create are the lucid realm that you can create. It will be of a more alien luminescence. It will be of a more heavenly quality. It will have some of these features, and you will be able to, well, we believe, also interact more freely with the environment. And you will also be able to meet sides of yourself who are, as I say, more archetypal, more expressed, less informed by your everyday life and more informed by your spiritual eternal life. Those are some of the aspects, but we do sense that in this opening and this breaking apart that you have also experienced, our dear friend, that these eye drops may actually serve to actually keep or blow that center that has sort of been broken open, blow it open for astral influxes in a positive way. So you have the blessings of your guides and star family and this, and you have our deepest love extended to you from source. Sweet dreams. Um, yes, and I think we are in good timing coming up uh, yes, I think another you actually have had a personal question. Where do you get these eye drops? A friend introduced me to them. He sort of had a vendor, but I don't remember the name of them. But I'm sure the internet will provide, and maybe Kevin will share a link. And 1212 says, I forgot to say hello first. So hello, my family here. 1212, so good to have you with us. Hello, family. And yes, um, he asks here, 1212 asks, oh, sorry, guys, I'm getting a little confused, but I'll do these questions from the ones who haven't had once answered yet, and then I think we'll wrap up. But so 1212 says, pure potential energy, as said about the ether, how to interact or create or co-create with your potential energy. I'd like to co-create with this potential energy, rejuvenate this avatar. Are there special particular activating words as such? Thank you and flowing love and compassion to all. Beautiful. Yes. You can certainly co-create with our energy. Well, sometimes we also come through other vessels as the creators or the Council of 12 or the founders. We have different energies, and you can connect to us by giving us a name. It will sort of be a type of name that will resonate with something within you. Of course it will, otherwise you wouldn't have produced it, but it will have this sort of otherness, moreness to it. And so, but great ways to interact with our energy and to build it in your system, where it will have a personalized expression, where you will become more and more of an avatar of our energy. Well, the greatest way to do this is to, well, build the key of the prana, that is the presence within your physical being, our presence within your physical being. And there are many techniques for this, and seek out those that you most enjoy. But, well, oxidizing your blood, that is to say, to regularly work up a sweat or to get your pulse running for some time, that's actually a very, very helpful way to do it. And of course, this may not seem as a very spiritual practice, but you will notice that there will be a lot of energy that begins to accumulate in your life that you can then transfer to these areas. So that's a simple technique, simply that but you also know many different energy works techniques, such as breathing, or yes, that can be holotropic breathing, or it can be slow breathing. You can also work with your physical body. Qigong would, or Qigong would be very helpful, and we suggest that to anyone who resonates with it. And then to you personally, we sense actually that tapping, and we are sensing that tapping this place at the top of the forehead, that would be something that would help you feel, and then just feel the minute energy of those slight fluctuations moving about within. Try to feel that, and that is our energy stirring, and then you can play around with it and direct it, and you can maybe even ask us questions, say, okay, how are you doing in there? And we will probably explain a little. If you take note of the answer, communication becomes more and more easy. So you are truly blessed in this. We love all things, but a specific love is developed in those situations where people cultivate and align with our energy. And so the love from Source extends and reaches you. Cool, Kevin. Thank you so much. It says, yeah, YouTube deletes these links and stuff, but Shamanic Supply is where I got my Sananga. So thank you for sharing, and that's of course a place you can all go if you also, I imagine, if you want to play around with others of these shamanic substances. There's a lot of them. Um, yeah, of these more, let us say, exotic things coming into the collective consciousness now is my impression. So thank you for working with them too, Kevin. It's cool that people are doing these experiments. I think I'll wrap up here, but Anne Hussein asks a very relevant question as the second one. Kindly give guidance for ascension. So I think we'll get them to answer that one, and then they'll do some light codes and a blessing. Yes, ascension is already moving through you. You know, there was a long time where this was foretold, but now it is here. You are already ascending. And so this may actually give as this may actually give rise to some physical discomfort. You also know this, but as we spoke of in the beginning, notice that your attunement to the more subtle or minute fluctuations of sensation, emotion, experience within you and without you have gradually increased. This is ascension. This is what happens when you move into the higher layers or finer layers of reality. You begin to perceive more of yourself, more of what is, more of what can be, more of what have been. Though, of course, all these things are connected in the now. And so, returning to that now, remember to bless the moment. And you can do this simply by saying whatever the moment is offering you, that I bless this moment and I allow for the energy that creates it to flood and flow back to me, to be received as love, as pure potential well-being, or pure perfected well-being, and to see how this energy, it never ceases, it is always there. And with that reminder, we, the 12th dimensional Quanta, always with you, we will leave you with a transmission of light language and a blessing spoken in your language. Hilwe niakthia lwestre launein wan nialo katarwin duak nianwen niwe nagda ifalarn wan stranway la kati walaktin kular tuat klik adlert uyen niara. Ik kan wan de ambalan lwe te trout eisel eist krant if an undak in wai I lwe tuk elwest kwal an tukat ki tukal. Quanticacail Edward Einwag in Yalal Luinta Imbis tua can tui. Travels you go on, travels you come back from, new travels begin, others finish. Everything is moving from one point to another, that point being the reaching of itself in the end. Everything is stretching its hands out in love to everything else. The universe loves itself dearly, and you are that universe in a perfected microcosm, created to create, created to be a creator to create new realities that blossom and flower and give rise to new emanations of love. We love you dearly. Know this day and always. The blessings of the heavens are with you. Peace. Oh yes, another use says we are moving into the sixth sun age according to the Aztec calendar on May 26th. Yes, there's a lot of astral energies clearing themselves out and moving about. So good reminder in these fluctuating times. But hey guys, what a lovely session. It's a pleasure to be with you, and I hope you're also managing these retrograde energies, and that you're having a lovely day or evening out there wherever you find yourself on the planet. I'm juggling different alternatives, so I don't exactly know when the next live stream will be, but sometime next week. I'm quite sure, and I hope to see you there. Many blessings to all of you, and stay well till we meet again.